Hello everyone. Today we are going to explore Nissim Ezekiel's poem The Night of the Scorpion, which is a powerful and an evocative work that delves into the themes of faith, suffering, and cultural identity in the context of post colonial India. Through the line by line analysis, the examination of symbolism, literary devices, exploration of its cultural significance and historical importance, we will gain a deeper understanding of this poem's enduring relevance. The poem starts with the lines I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. As we can see, it opens with a personal memory, setting the stage for a traumatic event. It also establishes the mother as the central character in the poem. With the lines of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice, the poet goes on to describe the setting, which is a rainy night that forced the scorpion into the house. In the next lines, the poet uses vivid imagery and portrays the sting of the scorpion as a quick and a malicious act. The word diabolic here suggests superstitions and the fear surrounding the scorpion. These lines compare the villagers to the buzzing flies, implying that their presence is really overwhelming. Here, the poet also highlights the religious beliefs of the villagers who fear the scorpion as the evil one. The lines, with candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls, they searched for him, he was not found. Here, the poet puts emphasis on light and shadows and creates a very dramatic atmosphere. The frustration is evident in their unsuccessful search for the scorpion. The clicking of their tongues suggests a disapproval and concern for the mother. With these lines, the poet is establishing the superstitious beliefs of the villagers who think that the scorpion's movement affects the poison, and therefore they wish for the stillness, which reflects their desire to control the situation. In the lines, may the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. The poet is trying to express the superstitious beliefs of the villagers yet again. The villagers believe that the mother's suffering is serving a karmic purpose. The concept of reincarnation is woven within their attempt to find meaning in her pain. They are hoping that her suffering can bring positive change. Furthermore, the villagers also believe that the pain may have a spiritual cleansing effect. Next in the poem, we find that there is a shift in the focus to the villagers' calm acceptance of the situation. Their presence and empathy offer comfort despite their lack of control. In these lines, the repetition emphasizes the long agonizing night. There is a contrast between villagers' calmness and the mother's suffering. These lines now introduce the father's contrasting perspective, which is skeptical and practical and rational. The desperation is quite evident in his attempt of trying various remedies to help with the pain of the mother. Extreme measures are taken by the father out of desperation, bordering on cruelty. The perspective of the child here emphasizes the emotional impact and fear. Now, the shift to the holy man's attempt highlights a different approach to healing. There's ambiguity over what truly ended the pain, leaving the interpretations open. Finally, in the last lines, the mother's voice is heard expressing gratitude for her children's safety. The poem's vivid imagery and sensory details transport us directly into the scene of the agonizing night. We feel the tension and fear alongside the characters, and then we witness the different approaches taken to cope with the crisis. The mother's selflessness and the villagers' support highlight the importance of community in times of hardships. Coming on to the themes, the first major theme that we have is faith and rationalism. Ezekiel showcases a stark contrast between father's skepticism and the religious beliefs of the villagers. On one hand, the villagers just try to pray. The father, on the other hand, tries various remedies to help with the pain of the mother. With regard to suffering and redemption, the villagers consider that the pain that the mother is feeling is karmic cleansing, whereas the father tries to help lessen the pain by trying different remedies, and the mother herself simply accepts the pain as a sacrifice for her children. With this, the poet raises the questions about why a man suffers and is it related to redemption in any way? In the poem, Ezekiel also portrays the strength of motherhood, which has the capability to transcend even the worst kinds of pain. Because to a mother, the main concern is always her child's safety and security. Ezekiel showcases us how the villagers have superstitious beliefs, and the poem juxtaposes these orthodox superstitious beliefs with the reality of the situation. Despite the superstitions, the villagers stand in solidarity with one another. The poet here highlights the importance of community living. With this, he also exemplifies the vulnerability of human beings. The open ended nature of the poem leaves us to interpretations and basically showcases us how complex human life can be at times. Ezekiel employs a rich tapestry of symbolism and literary devices to enhance the poem's emotional impact and convey deeper meanings. The scorpion's stings become more than just a physical attack, it represents the challenges and sufferings we face in life. The contrasting imagery of light and shadow reflects the internal struggle between faith and doubt, hope and despair. Rain becomes a symbol of cleansing and renewal. Fire stands for pain as well as purification. Villagers embody the spirit of community living and traditional beliefs of a society rooted in traditions. The mother herself becomes a symbol of resilience and strength. Ezekiel has also employed numerous literary devices such as imagery, metaphor, simile, personification, and all of these work together to make the poem more engaging and enhances its aesthetic appeal. The poem offers us a glimpse into the life in rural India, showcasing traditional customs, beliefs, and community dynamics. It explores the complex relationship between faith and superstition, reflecting the cultural context of faith based practices. The celebration of motherhood resonates with the universal values, making the poem relevant across all cultures. As the poem explores the tensions between traditional values and emerging Western influences, it reflects the search for a post colonial identity. The concerns, such as faith, suffering, and love, also give the poem a universal appeal, making it relevant across all cultures and in all times. Now, coming on to the comments and criticism of the poem, Ezekiel has been praised for his vivid imagery and beautiful display of powerful emotions. The poem explores almost universal themes of faith and superstitions, which make it interesting and relevant for readers across generations and cultures. However, with this, the poem also has been criticized for presenting a rather stereotyped version of a village and its people, and the ambiguous ending of a poem leaves us with no proper resolution about the cause of pain or its meaning. Here are some remarks on the Night of the Scorpion which clearly state the beauty of this poem. Finally, coming on to the post colonial perspective of the poem, we find that the juxtaposition of the traditional with the Western, as the villagers possess their superstitious beliefs, whereas the father is much more rational and supports a Western approach to healing. This reflects the struggle between the tradition and modernity of a quickly changing India of those times. The Night of the Scorpion was written during a significant period in Indian history, marked by the struggle to define a national identity after independence from the British rule. The poem's exploration of cultural clashes and the search for meaning resonates with the broader post colonial experiences of many nations grappling with their past and forging a new future.